Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live! Yeah.
Kia ora koutou katoa no mai haere mai. Welcome to the show. You're here on Radioactive.fm and we are on Active Live, as we are every wonderful Friday. Big thanks, of course, going out to NZ On Air Music, who help us make this. This is made in support, or with support, I should say, from NZ On Air Music. And today I welcome the wonderful soul man himself, Louis TM, to talk about his brand new album and show tonight. Kia ora, thank you so much for being here with us.
Kia ora. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
I can imagine with the release just having come out, everything's happening all at once. Let's start by introducing your wonderful band to everyone.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So today in the live room, we've got Chris Armour on guitar, and Kaito Wally on trombone, and Ben Hunt on trumpet as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
And then yourself.
And then myself.
Awesome. Hey, it's lovely having you all here. Thanks for joining us today in the live room. And a huge congratulations to you, Louis, for releasing your new album, Shelter for a Broken Soul. How does it feel having it out in the world?
Great sense of achievement and relief.
I can imagine.
Yeah. My drummer, I think he posted up just before, and he said it takes a village to raise an album. And I'm thankful he posted that because that pretty much summed it up. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good line. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I actually have a question about that because it seems like your album's basically sort of a who's who of Wellington musicians. Everyone in this room in particular, and also everyone that's involved in the album. It's really awesome that you're working with so many wonderful musicians. Tell us about the people that feature on this album and who is that village that helped you create it?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, the band, I've been really, fortunate to work with such great people as well, as talented musicians. But the engine room was kind of like myself and Chris here on guitar, and our bass player Steve Moody and drummer Nick George. The four of us kind of really worked quite hard together on capturing the sound and the essence of that music, and then I had the great fortune of knowing these beautiful people, Ben and Kaito on the horns, who are just excellent musicians and great pals. And vocals, we had Miriam Ellis, Rachel Mayer, and of course it wouldn't be a soul album without asking old Lisa Tomlins to come in and join the fun.
The Queen herself.
Yeah. Very, very, very lucky to have her come in. And then just working with the Dr. Lee Preble. He worked really hard with us on getting that sound, capturing it all pretty old school, and doing it justice with all the to capture that kind of sound. The recording had to be done in a particular way, I suppose. So he was great to work with.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask because the Surgery has such a unique sound and unique presence, and all the kind of technology they have there is, I think, really lends itself to the soul sound. Given that you have worked in so many different spaces and with so many different recordings and so many different things over the years, what drew you to the Surgery specifically?
I think the sort of like vintage kind of sounds that we're making, and also the gear and the equipment and stuff, and also like Lee's knowledge in that space as well. But it's such a cozy, homely, warm place to record as well. I don't think this music would have thrived if it was in no discredit to amazing, clean, beautiful, modern studios. But I don't think I would have delivered this kind of music in that environment too. So I think the place and the space, as well as the gear and the people, it takes a lot of weird moving elements and moving parts to make it all sound the way it sounds and work the way it works. Yeah.
I can imagine, and I think you touched on something really great there. It isn't a cold album; it's an incredibly warm album. I think you really feel that, for lack of a better word, heat coming from it. It's really warm and cozy and beautiful, and captures such a warmth to it. Talk us through the writing process for this album. How did you go about that?
It seems weird because it seems a lot of the tunes were written quite a long time ago now. Because the process can be quite long in getting stuff out. But I don't know. I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of old school soul canon, as well as modern soul resurgence stuff. I like writing in that in that space. So thinking about types of tunes and stylings and that sort of thing, I think about that. But then the actual content material and everything, it's especially in soul music, it's got to come from an authentic place. So a lot of it is, it can be pretty, vulnerable, and a lot of, open sort of stuff that just seems a little bit foreign to me. but writing in an authentic way. So a lot of that's like just writing at home on my piano, and sometimes taking stuff to to Chris and Steve and Nick, and we worked on a little bit of it together, and just being able to flesh it out with people as well. So the writing process is like kind of quite different. Some tunes were like the lyrics were already just there, and I had to sort of like put them to some music, or I had some music and I sort of had to write to what I'd already come up with chord-wise and stuff. So yeah, just there wasn't really a hard and fast like this is how I write, and then it comes out that way. It's sort of all different. Yeah. So yeah, all relatively organic.
Beautiful. I think, you touched on something, like it's a very, particularly I think soul music is like this in general, but I think this album captures a really vulnerable, especially lyrically, there's a lot of vulnerability there. And I think what lends to the warmth is there's a lot of uplifting in that vulnerability. How does it feel sharing things that are intimate and personal to the world on an album? It's such an intimate process creating like that, particularly from a lyrical perspective. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's a bit freaky. It's a bit hard.
I can imagine.
As I say, not something that like I was like kind of overly like confident and it's not overly been my space, but in a way it's like it's all got to come from an authentic place. And that's stuff that's all there. But in terms of like bringing that to the live show, we have a lot of like uplifting. Soul band, you have like love, heartbreak, anything that's like life orientated. It can be, so the live show is really, is like energetic and fun, and we've got lots of, fun stuff, but it lends itself to bringing those vulnerable moments in, and and hopefully take people on a bit of a journey. And yeah,
I think that's beautiful. I do think, the uplifting sense is going to really come through in the live element, and I'm really keen to talk to you about your show tonight as well. But before we do that, shall we have a track?
Yeah, let's play a tune.
Wonderful. What are we playing first?
This one's an uplifting one. So
Perfect.
yeah, it's called In Your Soul.
Beautiful. Looking forward to it.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Said, hey baby, how you doing? We stood there on the street, talk about what we're up to and how to make ends meet. Such a sweet smile, that everlasting glow. Though he's gone now, he says something you should know. Oh, you got that bug and don't you regret it. Even if you try, you're never gonna shake it. Look deep inside and know, got that music in your soul. You got that music in your soul. Don't make it too hard to stay up on your feet. Going from town to town, not knowing when you're gonna eat. Change it if you can. The dark days, they come and go. When they go all down, the sun comes up and shows. Shows you got that bug and don't you regret it. Even if you try, you're never gonna shake it. Look deep inside and know, got that music in your soul. You got that music in your soul.
Stunning. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. If you just joined us here on the Active Airwaves, we have the incomparable Louis TM in studio with us today. That was beautiful. Thank you, team. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I think that song really encapsulates the really classic soul sound that I'm obsessed with coming off of this album. It is like a true soul sound, which I think you don't hear as much coming from Aotearoa over the past couple of years. I think it's coming back in a big way now, but it is, really lovely hearing that sound coming through. As someone who's worked in many different genres over your musical career, what attracts you to making soul music?
I mean, I think a lot of it was just the fact that it's like kind of the music that I grew up with a little bit, you know. I think I sort of touched on with a few other conversations that I've had have been, you know, I had like the definitive collection of Sam and Dave as like a purchase when I was in a CD store and I was like 13 or something. And my pop, he was in America, so my mum grew up a little bit over there, so I had a lot of American influence music coming up, growing up. So you know, jazz and soul and all that kind of stuff was just stuff I listened to as well. So yeah, like growing up listening to Sam and Dave, Ray Charles, Wilson Pickett, you know, you name it. It was like that kind of stuff that I didn't really think much of it at the time, you know, but as sort of, you know, then I came to Wellington and did, you know, went through the jazz program and then played in a whole bunch of different styles of music and stuff. But yeah, when it sort of came back to finding stuff that was really, really hitting, you know, in your soul, that was kind of it. Soul music. Yeah,
It's in the name, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And speaking of the name, I think what we were talking about earlier about the kind of uplifting but intimate thing really shines through on the album name, which is also a song name on the record, Shelter for a Broken Soul. Tell us about why you chose to name the album that, because it's quite an intimate wee name.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of joked about it. It's like, you know, it sounds sad, but it's, you know, in a sense, like the meaning behind, you know, that and or the attempt at meaning behind that song, and actually like that sort of calling the record, I think was the, you know, when we're all like finished with our day at work or whatever, you know, or you're feeling a bit broken by the end of the week, or even broken from a life experience or whatever like that, you sort of look for that shelter, that safety, that security. And you know, for some it's, you know, doing a crochet on a Friday night with your Ugg boots on, or whatever it might be. And music was that for, you know, is that for me as well. So that's my shelter and that sort of thing. So I guess that was kind of the you know, the meaning behind it as such. But you know, music is that great thing. You can mean a lot of things to like whoever's listening to it.
Very true. Very, very true. That's a beautiful sentiment. And I think particularly, yeah, as you say, like soul music is soulful, right? So I totally think it works perfectly for this record. As we mentioned, you have worked with so many different musicians in various genres and projects over the years. How do you think those experiences have informed your own songwriting and particularly the songwriting on this record?
Yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky to play with a lot of great musicians. Some of whom are in the room with me right now. But in terms of like how they've influenced the way I go about my music.
Yeah, the way that you have they had any, if they have, influence on your own songwriting processes, even recording processes, the creation of these songs.
Yeah, I think it's all like as you go along as a musician as well. You pick up all of the things that make you who you are because of the people that you've played with, and you know, you can only be you. So, I mean, I would say that I've been a different player if I, you know, moved to Sri Lanka or something. You know, you'd sort of absorb a lot of the vibes of the people around you, and you know, and that would sort of guide and direct where you go. But I mean, yeah, in terms of like, I take most of my songwriting and inspiration and that sort of thing from a lot of other soul records. But yeah, the people that I play with as well, is like, I mean, the record wouldn't be what it is without the people that I chose, you know, asked to play on, you know. Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, no, that's a very good point, I think, about the sort of climate and geography in which you grow your own musicality. I think that's really cool. Speaking of the musicians that you have, is this the setup, this wonderful group of musicians I see before me, that we'll see at tonight's show?
For the most part. Yeah, for the most part. Rachel, who is one of the backing vocalists, she's gone off on a great OE excursion, so she's not with us. She's off gallivanting around London, I think. But we've got Kirsten Birdie on backing vocals tonight as well with Miriam, and Dale Jellyman's on organ with us tonight as well. Yeah, otherwise it's pretty much the lineup that's on the record. Yeah, so it's the real deal tonight.
Awesome. Yeah. Everyone can go check it out. You're playing Rogue and Vagabond tonight, which is a stomping ground for so many wonderful jazz and soul musicians across Aotearoa and particularly Te Whanganui-a-Tara. I'm sure you've played that venue multiple times in your life. What is your favourite thing about playing at that venue?
Oh, well. The Gizzy Gold. No, I mean, Rogue is like a second home to me and to everyone here. So, I mean, we could have played anywhere, but Rogue sort of seemed like a very fitting place to release this record at, as well as, you always have good sound there. Like, I don't think I've had a bad gig at the Rogue where the sound hasn't been great. Our beautiful friend Chris Buckland, he always looks after us. He's a great sax player too, which just
he's good at everything. That guy.
He's great at everything. But the venue's amazing. Hospitality there's always great. They always look after the musicians. So yeah, it's just going to be a nice, cozy, home, soulful, warm. Yeah, give it all the warm fuzzy. So let's pack it out. Let's come down and enjoy the party with us.
It's going to echo the record then. All the warm fuzzies coming through.
That's it.
Speaking of the record, should we have another track?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wonderful. What have we got coming up next?
This track was the last single that we dropped from the record in the lead up. This Flame Ain't the Same.
Beautiful.
Time has passed as you look out from the coast. The person you were is the one you miss the most. You've hurt, you felt pain, you've had joy and sorrow, life, love, and heartbreak. It's a different kind of tomorrow. Just one look in the mirror and you'll see things so much clearer. But this flame ain't the same. Though we try again and again, this flame ain't the same. Though we try again and again, the spark that lit the fire, you drive dreams, desires. For it's you who has to choose, reignite that fuse or lose. Show your strength, not your anger. It's not weak to show defeat. To fall is only human, and to get back up on your feet. Just one look in the mirror and you'll see things so much clearer. But this flame ain't the same. Though we try again and again, this flame ain't the same. Though we try again and again. same. Though we try again and again, this flame ain't the same. Though we try again and again, oh, this flame ain't the same. Though we try again and again, this flame ain't the same. No, though we try again and again.
Absolutely stunning. For those of you who have just joined us on the active airwaves, we have Louis TM and his wonderful band in right about now playing us some beautifully soulful tunes. Thank you for that. That was gorgeous. Now, I wanted to ask about, we've kind of touched on throughout this interview the fact that you've worked with so many different people and you've been working in different projects throughout the years. I really want to ask how you find managing your time working on other people's projects and working on your own. And I know it can be hard to balance creative energy in general and ensure that you are looking after yourself. How do you find that balance?
That's the,
if you find that balance.
Yeah, I think that's a loaded question for just about every musician in Wellington. I think if there's a few twitching eyeballs here. It's a hell of a balancing act. I think for a lot of us, everyone gets pulled in lots of different directions, and I think we talk about it all the time. I think as musicians, saying that magic word no. And picking and choosing what you can do, because you've only got so many spoons to give and so many things to that you can say yes to without burning yourself to the ground. But yeah, just balance, keeping an eye on the calendar. But I tend to cook my books quite a bit.
It is hard. I think this industry in particular kind of pushes you to choose as much as you can while you can, so therefore you kind of get a bit burnt
I think
out.
we all just want to play music. I think we're all just pretty keen to play music, and we're so lucky with the amount of great musicians and great artists and everyone kicking around this town that we sort of, you can't say no a lot of the time, because you're like, that sounds great, let's do that.
Spoiled for choice half the time, eh? That's awesome. And speaking of the kind of wider idea of the scenes in Aotearoa, I'd love to hear your opinion on, and in general, what words you'd use to describe Aotearoa's soul scene as you see it.
That's a good question. There's a fantastic singer, Romy Wrights. Actually, I only found out she's like in the Hutt Valley or something.
Yeah, Pororoa based, I think.
Oh yeah. I'm because I assumed she was Auckland based, because I saw her open for Lee Fields when I went up.
Of course.
For that, and I was just, they've got a great sound, and she's a great vocalist. But yeah, I'm not overly aware of too many other people that are really digging into that. Soul is a pretty broad thing. A lot of amazing soul R&B music in New Zealand. There's a lot of great acts around New Zealand that have got a sort of a more modern sound or whatever. Actually, I think Louis Baker's latest one has quite a hint to this sort of world, and it sounds great. So there's lots of, it's pretty vast. Like, there's a lot of different different angles, like Asia. There's Taylor. There's so many different, a lot of it's modern. Not a huge amount that I'm aware that all takes inspiration from across the times, but yeah, it's pretty broad, and just lots of talent, really. It's great. It's very rich. a lot of soulful people here. Yeah.
A lot of soulful people, a lot of incredibly talented vocalists as well, yourself included. It must be interesting for you working, because, and forgive me if I'm wrong about this, but you're primarily a keys player, right? That's your sort of bread and butter, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah.
How does it feel kind of taking the reins, vocally speaking, throughout?
Well, I wasn't going to pull you up on saying that, when you're like, oh, you're a good vocalist. I'm like, thank you.
You're amazing, man. You've just been proving it to the audience right about now.
I'm the first one to also say, like, I sing, I give it a go.
You don't just give it a go; you
There's some-
succeeded it.
You know, there's some amazing like vocalists that have just got amazing but yeah, like I like to sing and I like to play. But yeah, I did a lot of keyboards and piano and stuff coming up, so I played keys for a lot of people, and I dabbled in the things, but
You're too modest, Louis. Far too modest. So you released a limited run of 7-inch vinyl for a couple of singles back on Diver Records. What's your relationship with that label like, and can we expect any vinyl from this release?
I have a very close relationship with Diver Records because it's mostly
It's
me.
you. I had a feeling.
Yeah. No, it started as like an umbrella for my stuff. And yeah, I mean, ideally, love to put more music out, but it's just the reality of making that happen. Yeah, putting that out was great. I mean, I just wanted to make a record, so I started with a 7-inch, and yeah, that was really, I was quite overwhelmed with the response. It kind of got snapped up, and yeah, people dug it, flung it all over the place. It's in the UK and America and Australia, and yeah.
Amazing, and a testament to your artistry. Can we expect any vinyl from this album release?
Absolutely, it's out now.
Hell
It's
yeah.
out now. It's everywhere. Yeah. Go hit up your local independent record store. Creeps in Newtown, Slowboat, Herbs, all the places. Online, Bandcamp. Tonight at the gig. Cheap tonight at the gig.
Hey.
Come and grab it at the gig.
Hell
Come to
yeah.
the gig.
Speaking of the gig, do you have any pre-show rituals or things that you do prior to playing?
Usually drink a beer.
Hell yeah.
But
Gizzy Gold.
yeah, but I know Miriam, one of my backing vocalists. She's a great vocal tutor, actually. So she'll be, she's usually slapping me on the wrist for that sort of stuff. She's like, you need to look after your vocal health, and I'm like, sound of cans opening in the background. No, yeah, usually just. I mean, for my shows, I like to just get the crew together and just have a like. I'm really like into this positive energy before a show, which is it's weird. Most of the time, I've played gigs where everyone just turns up, you just hop on stage, everyone rolls in with their gear, plays like, hey man, hey, how you doing? Yeah, all right, and then play a gig. But for these shows, I like to sort of like take a moment to actually just connect with each other before we have a play, like have a great show. Yeah, that's probably my only pre-show ritual.
It's a great one. Oh, that's so awesome. So where can people get tickets to come see you tonight?
I think. Oh, sorry. I put my phone on airplane mode, but alarms still go off. Apparently. Tickets for the show.
Yes.
Yeah. Under the radar.
Wonderful.
Until about like 5 o'clock, I
Ooh.
think, and then it shuts itself off, and yeah, on the door.
On the door.
But yeah, grab them cheap online.
That's the way to do it. Grab them cheap online and then grab a cheap old vinyl at the gig itself.
That's it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, it's been so lovely having you all, and thank you so much for joining us today in the Active Live Room. It's been absolutely awesome having you in here. I'm just stunned by the musicianship. For my final question today, what do you hope listeners take away from your album?
Enjoyment. I mean, I think, I think I wanted to make a record that I enjoyed, the type of music that I enjoy listening to. Just wanted to make a great soul record. So if that speaks to anyone else, then that's great result.
I think it definitely will. It's definitely speaking to me right about now. I'll say
Awesome.
that much. Hey, Louis and everyone involved, thank you so much for being here today. It's been so lovely having you all in. Let's go out with a song. What have we got up as our last track today?
Let's play the one from the 7-inch, the track that went out. Never Give Up on Your Love.
Yes, active listeners will be extremely familiar with this tune. We've been playing it all over the show. This has been Active Live. Big shout out to NZ On Air Music for helping us out with this one every single week. Come see Louis tonight at Rogue and Vagabond. It's going to be heaps of fun. And otherwise, Louis TM, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you here.
Awesome.
love that you gave me would come back to you. Yes, I love you too. Girl, you and I were meant to be together. Oh, you know I can't love another. You found me on my darkest day when the skies were gray. And now all I see is your smiling face, sun, it shines on me. Girl, you and I were meant to be together. Oh, you know I can't love another. I'll never give up, never give up on your love. I'll never give up, never give up on your love. No, I'll never give up, never give up on your love. No, I'll never give up, no, never give up on that. Over and over, you showed me how to see what life is like, what it's supposed to be. I'll never give up, never give up on your love. I'll never give up, never give up on your love. Oh, I'll never give up, never give up on you. Oh no, I'll never give up, no, never give up on your love. No, I won't, never give up on your love. I won't, baby, never give up on your love. Keep my feet on the ground. Oh, oh no, I'll never give up, never give up on your love.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In the studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.